I'm sitting here with Chris Torres, otherwise known as
Realism.
How are you doing today?
Doing great, blessed.
Awesome. I'm actually happy to be here with you. Okay, so I want to get straight into it. I've heard Realism, the movement, but I just want to know what it is to you.
Come and take a ride with me. They wanna shine with me. No other place like the spot that I be.
So who is Realism and what is the movement?
Is being real, because there's a lot of people out there that are always talking about, keep it real with me, be real with me, but in all reality, once you get real with them, they back off. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm portraying a whole different aspect in a whole different way as far as Christian music goes and the hip-hop industry, unlike anybody's ever done before. But I've been through a lot, seen a lot, and I'm able to bring that to the table. And that's why I want it to be real, because it's not corny Christian rap, it's real Christian rap, and I believe it's at a real level. And so that's why I chose Realism. And the movement is, we're moving along. We're opening doors, we're doing things that nobody else is doing, we're setting trends. And I believe that we're gonna be able to do the impossible, which has never been done in the Christian hip-hop industry like never before.
It's real life, this realism, you know what I mean? I'm keeping it real, you know what I mean? I ain't perfect, and I hope y'all get something out of this. I'm on my knees, ready to fall. You can hear what I speak every time when I call. No longer with the whisper, cause now I scream. My face so red from the tears that I bleed. I can no longer feel so deep inside of me. The pain so real, I forget who I've been.
That's awesome, and be a leader, not a follower, right?
Yep.
Who were some of the biggest influences that inspired you to write the music you produce, then and now?
So growing up, most of the influences that I did have would stem back probably to NWA, Tupac, Eazy-E, Ice Cube. We're going all the way back to the 80s. And the reason why I like that music, because it was real. It was when people were talking about real life issues. And so those were the biggest influences that I had on my life, because at the time, Christian rap wasn't there. Christian rap wasn't emerging, and like I said before, at the time that it was corny music. I mean, let's be real, nobody wanted to hear, it was like somebody talking about God and Jesus, but they either weren't living the life, or there was no life that they could associate with me being on the streets. So those are the influences that I grew up with, because I was there on the streets living that life that they were talking about on their album. And so honestly to say, I mean, those were most of the biggest influences that impacted me to want to write the music I do, because I now want to be able to portray that in the Christian aspect, to say that I've lived that life that people are trying to go through, that pain and the suffering that most people don't talk about.
I don't know about you, but I came in the house with expectancy tonight. With expectancy, just because it's a hip-hop concert doesn't mean you can't be set free tonight, doesn't mean you can't be healed tonight, doesn't mean you can't hear a word tonight. It's all about how you come expected to receive something tonight.
Looking over some of your records and just through your songs, I hear that you ran over a police officer in a Salvation Army van. Is this true?
Yes, that's true, and a lot of people always ask me about that. The thing is that when I was with the Salvation Army, I was picked up to do a record deal and to be able to travel the world. And within that contract, within 3 months of being offered that, I did run over a police officer here in Pueblo in 2005 in July. But now that I'm here, I believe that it's grown me to be able to learn my lesson, because I've seen how the judicial treats people. I've seen how, you can make one mistake and people will look at you for that. You can do so much good, but yet one mistake, people will judge you and condemn you and put you down. Because of that incident, that I'm very close from slipping and falling, just like the next man. Because pride will catch you and pride will put you up on a pedestal. And so just remembering that incident, where I come from, remembering I should be in prison right now because of what happened. By God's grace, I'm here right now able to share the story. It brings me to the point to where I'm humble and able to make the music and do it in a positive way, because I don't want anybody to go through what I went through.
Right, and stories can be misconstrued, right? And even to address it today, it takes a strong man to be able to step to that as well. I've also seen clips of you preaching at a local church, Victory Outreach, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, can you tell me how you got involved with that?
It actually started in 2015 when I first went to the Victory Outreach Men's Recovery Home. I was on probation, finally submitted and surrendered my life. But it was hard though, going through a divorce and the time of my life that I was going through. I was drinking a lot. I found myself going through depression, which I thought I would never come to, and it happened. And so I went to the men's home. Now I'm a graduate of the men's home at Victory Outreach Pueblo. And so that's how I got involved in the ministry. And now that God has a calling on my life to be able to preach and to teach, I'm trying to integrate that into my music. I want to be able to do music to be able to relate to the younger generation, even though I can sit on behind a pulpit and relate to the Christian church. I want to take the Christian church to the streets. I want to be able to reach people that would otherwise not go to church, otherwise not sit in a pew and listen to a pastor preach for 2 hours, but be able to bring them music that's going to change their lives where they're at. And I believe that that's where I fit in, to be able to draw them, to show them the love of Christ, that He's gonna reach them no matter what they're doing, where they're at, no matter how low or how much they think that God doesn't love them. But in my music, I believe that you'll see that, and that's why I talk a lot even about the heroin use, the drug activity going on in our city, and also about the violence. And I speak on those things, and I draw real issues into it, because I believe that those real issues are what people are living, what people are going through. And so that's where I believe, like I said, where I fit in here in the music industry.
Label that we bought, so they call it a brand. Stuck on welfare, the kids gotta eat. Nobody really cares till they see them on the street. And even when they do, you think they would help? Calling social services to pick the kids out. The love for each other changed on the streets.
Okay, so what do you mean when you say you want to give back to the kids and the Pueblo community?
Well, I want to be able to, I want the kids to be able to have what I didn't have growing up. And that was, I didn't have no role model here in Pueblo. There was nobody that I could actually look to that was trying to help the kids out. Just providing my time, volunteering my time, being with the church and going out there on the streets, and we see these kids as we even go out there for the church in the park. They're hurting, they're lost. You know, these kids, both their parents nowadays are hooked on dope, and they have no one to turn to. You know, on some of my rhymes I even say, you know, daddy's hooked on meth, mama's smoking crack, or mama's on meth, daddy's on crack, and these kids have nowhere to turn. These kids are like looking for answers. And so I believe that if I could be there just as a role model to show them, hey, you know, I made a way out from these same streets that you're at. I seen exactly that people just like you make it out. I want them to have that same inspiration, those aspirations to want more, to dream big, to be able to know that they don't have to just live here in a little city and end up like their mom and their dad, that there's more out there than just selling dope, getting high. And so that's my main goal, to be able to help these kids, especially here in the Pueblo community.
What can we expect from Realism in the near future?
From a little city in the Colorado, Rocky Mountain region, southern Colorado. Victory Outreach like you never knew before. Boots on the ground, soldiers in black light.
Well, I do plan on dropping a few singles, maybe 1 or 2 by the end of this year. And that's going to be Holy Hypocrites, which is another controversial song for people to hear. But that's going to be the title of one of the singles that I'm going to be dropping, which will probably eventually lead to an album by next year. But you can expect to see me from here to Utah, also at the State Fair, performing in every venue that I possibly can, to be able to take this gospel that God told me to. And this is going to be the way that, like I say, it's going to put the vision forward, is because I'm not going to charge. And I'm going to do everything for free, and people are going to see that. And I believe, I hope that it sparks a new generation of people to be able to know that it's not about how much money you can make, but how much lives you can touch. And so that's what you can expect here in the near future, is some more music. Hopefully hook up with somebody to get it on more social media, more so graphic artists, anybody that I come across, people that want to help me out to put it more on the internet for people to download, and then collaborating with not only local artists here in Pueblo, but also local artists from state to state.
Well, it was wonderful speaking with you today, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be able to go in a little deeper to see more so what you're about and what you want to bring, and also clear up some facts there.
Awesome.
So, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.